Hello, Woden's Day. Right, I'm going to do a bit of reading to you, so you'll have to screw your brains into gear, right, to follow what I'm saying. It all links up and makes sense as long as you do some thinking. Bloomberg. Banks use $1.77 trillion to double Treasury purchases. August 20, 2012. The gap between US bank deposits and loans is growing at the fastest pace in 2 years, providing lenders with more funds to buy bonds and temper the biggest sell-off in treasuries since 2010. As deposits increased 3.3% to $8.88 trillion in the 2 months ended July 31, business lending rose 0.7% to $7.11 trillion, Federal Reserve data show. The record gap of $1.77 trillion has expanded 15% since May, the biggest similar period gain since July 2010. Banks have already bought $136.4 billion in Treasury and government agency debt this year, more than double the $62.6 billion in all of 2011, pushing their holdings to an all-time high of $1.84 trillion. Keeping up? It's not easy. I told you you've got to keep your brains working. From the middle of the article. The recent rise isn't keeping up with record bank deposits, as savings of US households have risen 4.4% of incomes as of June from 1.7% in 2007, the data show. Every bank is looking for a way to increase their yield, said Mike Pierce, president of Bank of the West in Grapevine, Texas, whose company has been purchasing government securities after deposits grew faster than loans in 2010 and 11. Instead of earning the federal funds rate of 0 to 0.25% on deposits, its bond holdings are yielding about 3.25%, he said. You got that worked out? That's what the banks are doing with the money. A big jump to Australia. Aussie banks grab silver medal in global ranking. Australia now boasts the second biggest banking industry in the world by market capitalisation, eclipsing those of the Eurozone, Britain and Japan. And America, I think. It's surprising they haven't put that in. I think China's the biggest in market cap and Australia's second. Could be wrong. It might have been America, but I think Aussie's bigger than America now. Banks market capitalisation. The hint, obviously, there is that don't be investing in Australian banks at the moment unless you've got it on a very tight line that you can just go boop and pull it off very quickly. That will not last. Third, we're going to Holland. And a big Reuters article, Insight. When it's Insight, it's generally not just a small thing, it's a full article. Dutch damned, play on words there, damned by homeowner debt. August 20th, Reuters. The Eurozone crisis is washing over the walls of one of the region's safest havens. So far, the Netherlands, a founding member of the European Union, fiscal hawk, along with neighbouring Germany, has been spared the dramatic collapse of property prices associated with southern European countries such as Spain. Housing prices have fallen roughly 15% since 2008, compared with up to 30% in Spain since the crisis began. Now, though, 4 years after the global financial crisis first hit, the economy is on the brink of another recession, and steadily sinking property prices are exposing a deep Dutch weakness: unpaid mortgages. The Dutch, who have been able to borrow up to 12 times their income to buy homes, are leveraged to the hilt. By some measures, the Netherlands has the highest per capita mortgage debt in the European Union. Later in the article, in fact this is the end of towards the end of the article, heading down, down. House prices could have a lot further to fall. By 2013, mortgage leader Rabobank has forecast the price declines from 2008 peaks will have reached nearly 18%, and that'll be optimistic. That compares with a slide of 34% in the previous housing crisis in the late 70s and early 80s. We're talking about serious money, billions in potential collective write-downs by Dutch municipalities. Read the article to find out what the municipalities in Cloggyland have got up to. The Dutch Central Bank expects a moderate recovery in 2013-14, assuming the Eurozone's problems don't worsen. The country is headed for elections on September 12. No party will win an outright majority in an election largely focused on the future of the euro, but polls indicate the far-left Socialist Party is in the lead, slightly ahead of the pro-business Liberals. Besides implementing billions in spending cuts and halting economic decline, a new government will be tasked with working out how to phase out more than a century of the subsidies that encouraged high indebtedness. Dutch households who spend more than a quarter of their household income on their homes can expect only pain. They wanted everything, and now they have nothing, said Van Os. It's only going to get worse. And that is getting right to the core of the Eurozone. Number 4 is from Rebecca Wilder, who gives us a bit of a talk on Holland and its problems, and gives us this chart, which is the Dutch unemployment rate going back to 2000. It's been very up and down, but you can see from 2008 it went up. You could say tried to come down, I would say ratcheted up, and then started off again, and it's on up and running. It's up through 6.5% now, 6.3%. That's a lot for them, and there will be lots of automatic stabilisers cutting in, and a lot of government spending will have to be going out, and they will have severe budget problems to do the austerity budgets that are demanded by what they signed up for Brussels. And that unemployment rate is going to go up and up and up. Finish in Britain, Ed Conway, Nick's favourite. Imagine you're a bank manager. You have a customer who keeps getting deeper and deeper into debt. You've set him targets for spending and borrowing, but he has repeatedly missed them. A few weeks ago it transpired that his annual income had fallen even more than expected, and now, today, he's in your office again asking for another loan. What do you do? I imagine one answer that's not particularly likely is to give him free money. And yet, that is what, in effect, the market has decided in regards to a not dissimilar customer, the Great British Government. Britain is borrowing more than expected this year. On the basis of the latest, yesterday's, public finance figures, the government may well borrow more than last year, missing its £120 billion borrowing forecast by £30 billion, according to somebody or other. Get to the end of Ed's article. While it's tempting to try to compare an indebted country to an indebted person, The comparison is somewhat misleading for one simple reason. Unlike Joe Public, a country has the power to raise taxes at will. And in extremis, it has the capacity to print money at will. In fact, those record low interest rates are more likely to mean investors believe in the following. Britain will not default. It will be able to raise taxes and cut spending in order to pay off the debt, at least pay the interest. However, this will likely stifle the economy for an extended period of time, which in turn will prevent any investment in UK PLC, yielding much of a reward, hence those low yields. There's nowhere else to put the money. That's what happened in Japan during its lost decade. It has since been dubbed a balance sheet recession, where there is so much debt hanging over the public and private sector that it simply weighs down activity for the foreseeable future. And on the basis of the latest evidence, that is precisely what is happening in the UK at the moment. Bye.